How's it going, Gacha YouTube? My name is Gacha J. This is your home for Gacha news, analysis, and reviews. Today we are looking at Romancing Saga Re-Universe in 2021. Let's go. Romancing Saga Universe is a super interesting game. I'm going to switch up the order in which we normally do this, and I'm going to jump all the way to uniqueness and monetization because those two things to me are bonkers. Uniqueness, I'm going to put it straight at an 8 out of 10. Why? Because when you look at this game, you read the dialogue and you look at the characters, you're never going to find anything quite like it. It feels like I am thrown in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure meets Tower of God like instantaneously. A little bit of Hunter x Hunter thrown in there. The game is super unique, and honestly, that is a big draw to what makes it such an interesting and fun game to play. They're taking a very retro style when it comes to JRPG, and they're throwing a little bit of a class mix into it. I'll talk more about the class system when we get to the progression, but overall, 8 out of 10 uniqueness. It actually could be slightly better, but what's there? If it appeals to you, it's really going to appeal to you. And next, we're going to talk about monetization. I don't know if you guys have seen my short, but oh my gosh. This game throws so much free stuff at you that I don't really know why you're paying. I did see a ton of new banners released while I'm playing, so if people are hunting for specific units, maybe they don't get it, but I was getting rolls left and right. I was getting new currencies, new event things, like I couldn't keep up with it. They were giving me so much free stuff that the monetization is off the charts. 9 out of 10. Now let's go back and talk about the actual core of the game here. I did already talk about how unique the graphics were. That is actually the art. The actual gameplay graphics in itself is very old school, like basically 8-bit sprites. And my gosh, they really don't do a lot with it. The animations are pretty lackluster. They really could do a lot more. And if you're playing with the older units, you really are going to feel the difference between the old units and the new units just based on the animations alone. To me, there could have been a lot more done when it came to the graphics that they present in this game, but the sprite in itself is captivating. I am a sucker for sprite-based games. I gave it a 4 out of 10. It could have gone as high as a 6 out of 10 like other sprite games, but they just didn't try hard enough in my opinion. For the story, I have it slotted at a 6 out of 10. This is where the Tower of God part comes in and a little bit of Hunter x Hunter. Basically, the whole time I played through the story and I progressed through the game, we were just climbing up towers where each room was like a different level, and they could be underwater or they could be at a pirate ship. If you've read Omniscient Reader, it's similar to that. You definitely see it take place in Tower of God as well, with the different levels and the completely different ecosystems that appear in those levels. That's very much the type of story that you're getting with it. Now, I did not beat the game in its entirety. It could not captivate me in that point. And honestly, a lot of the time I was reading the story and I was kind of cringing by how much dialogue wasn't truly necessary, but I could really tell the charm that they were trying to add to it, and it was a very unique take on it. A lot of people have told me that the in-game story is actually really good, so I'm taking their word for it. I think for me, it would have been a 4 to a 5 out of 10, but because so many of the people within the community said that the story is really good late game, I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to trust that they're true on that. I don't think that I'm going to stick around to figure it out, but if enough of you guys like it, then that's more important than my actual ranking on the opinion. And progression system, I'm going to put it as 6. I really like what they did with the class system. Basically, you have all of these different skins for a base unit. And if you're switching between different skins, you are actually leveling that skin and not the unit itself. You can take skills from individual skins, which they call skins classes. You can take specific skills from other skins and merge it into your base character. And essentially you can very overwhelmingly customize these characters to do what you want. There definitely is meta builds for these champions, but you can take it very different ways with great levels of success. I really liked the amount of strategy that went into something like this, and I would have been really excited if I could have seen a little bit more of that show up in the actual gameplay itself. But for a progression system, it's pretty strong. The only thing knocking it is not straightforward at all. If I was not playing this on stream with some veterans, I don't know that I overwhelmingly would have gotten all of this, so it takes a pretty big knockoff. Normally I would have given it a 7 or an 8, but because of my experience of the progression system, which is probably more important than the progression system itself if we are being honest, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Now, when it comes to gameplay, it is very standardized. It is very much what you expect it to be. I did not feel anything new that they brought to the gameplay itself from a JRPG perspective, so I couldn't do anything but give it a 5 out of 5. It doesn't do anything bad, and it doesn't do anything good. It doesn't do anything new either. So 5 out of 5 feels pretty appropriate for the gameplay. And last thing we need to consider when we're talking about Romancing Saga is the community. Overall, I was pretty charmed by the community itself. I think the community gets a lot of inspiration from the fact that there is no PvP in this game. So there is no saltiness that I've really experienced from the community. There was a whole bunch of uplifting and guides, and people really seemed to be encouraging each other. And it was really refreshing to see. Now, if you are a PvP-centric gacha player, you are not going to like Romancing Saga Reuniverse. But if you're someone that really enjoys PvE and having camaraderie around that PvE, Romancing Saga really might be a game you want to check out. Overall, I gave the game a 6.14, which puts it in the good game realm. I've gone back and I've altered Fire Emblem's Heroes after playing Langrisser, and Romancing Saga Reuniverse actually finished 0.14 higher than Fire Emblem Heroes, so that should give you a really good ballpark of where it finishes. It actually finishes right between FGO, Fate Grand Order, and Fire Emblem Heroes. So both of those are really, really popular and beloved games in this industry. So if anything about this video caught your eye, you may want to give Romancing Saga Reuniverse a go. But maybe you're like me and it just really isn't for you, but you really can appreciate that it's a good game. It's a good game, worth checking out. It may be your favorite game. All right, guys, I'm Gacha Jay. Take care.